This happened a couple of weeks ago and is the scariest moment of my life. To begin with, I must explain that I often babysit a 2-year-old child while his parents arrange dates for themselves. One day my friend was looking after him, and at that moment the child began to talk to his grandfather. According to his parents, the boy never saw him, as his grandfather died before he was born. Since then, when the boy stayed with me, I mentally prepared for something like this. Of course, that evening, when we were in the living room, he began to point to the empty wall in front of us. Grandfather, he repeated and repeated only that word. It is worth noting that he is only 2 years old and he hardly speaks. That's why I didn't ask him anything. Instead, in order to somehow distract myself, and I was scared, I started talking about other things. And then the child opened his eyes wide, grabbed the chair on which he was sitting, chattered his teeth and began to tremble violently. I almost lost my mind. Grabbing the baby, I said out loud that it was time to watch a movie before bed. Later that night, I was about to take the boy upstairs to the nursery when I noticed that the front door was unlocked. I locked the door and tugged on the handle just in case. I have a mania, I do this all the time. After that, I took the child and carried him to bed. He was already almost asleep by this time. I was in his room for about 20 minutes. When he finally fell asleep, I quietly left and went downstairs. The front door is directly opposite the stairs, and guess what? The door was not locked. I instantly thought of horror movies and decided to look around the whole house, but found nothing. I even checked the baby's room. Some of the bedrooms upstairs I did not check, because while I was in the nursery the door was wide open and I would have seen if someone had slipped past. After making sure that everything was in order with the child, I went downstairs and just watched TV until the very arrival of my parents. And I also jumped at the slightest rustle, but there was nothing unusual anymore. It was the strangest night of my life. When I was again asked to babysit the boy, I refused the idea for an hour.